Hey, this is ASpengler, and today I'm going to be going over how I do my custom Brickarms painting. I know I made a tutorial video a while back, but it was in a bunch of different parts. It was really long and wasn't the best, so I want to try to keep this one short and concise and informative. I'm not going to actually be doing any painting in, but I'm going to be going over everything you need and some techniques that I use. If you guys really want an example of me actually painting, just request that and I'll try to make another video. But for the most part, I'm going to try to keep this one really brief and just go through the essentials and what you'll need. So I'm going to have all this stuff in the video description if you don't catch it, but here I have all the supplies you'll need. It's not actually that much stuff, and we have a few examples of previously painted brick arms. These are all, of course, if you're not used to World War II Legos and stuff, Brickarms is like the top dealer and maker of custom World War II weaponry and stuff. So you can get those at brickmania.com. That's where I get all my stuff, so I'll leave a description for that. But going to the actual custom painting and stuff, these are the main sort of paints you'll need. So we got your gunmetal paint and then your clear coat, and these are both from Vallejo or Vallejo, however you want to pronounce it. So we'll have those in the video description. This one's about $4. This one's about $13 just because it's a clear coat varnish, so it's a little bit more pricey, but they go a long ways. I've had these for about like 4 years of painting, and I've painted probably just about 100 different brick arms. And it's not even, this one goes by a little bit quicker just because I use it quite a bit more, but this one still's got probably at least half of it left, so it goes a very long ways. You don't have to put a lot of paint on these things, but that's the paint, that's the clear coat. You'll also need some very fine tipped paint brushes, or fine tipped one for the actual paint putting on the gunmetal. So this brand is AIT. They use this Russian sable red hair, which is pretty good. It's supposed to be like the best to keep its shape and not fray. So that's the one I have. I'll link it in the description. I don't think it's currently available on Amazon at the moment, but you'll need a very fine tipped paintbrush, and then one that's more fat tipped, not quite so fine. But this is also from the same brand. This is for the clear coat. This one is for the actual painting on the brick arms. So you got your paintbrushes. I like to use a bottle cap for putting my paint down, and then you'll also need just some toothpicks. That's for scratching off paint after you've done your first coat. So now that you know the stuff that you need, we'll go into exactly what you'll be doing. So first, you get your bare brick arms, the ones that don't have any detailed, no reloaded stuff, and then you'll just go through and you can look at pictures of what the actual weapon looks like and kind of see where you want to paint on that weapon. So usually I paint the butt of the weapon, the magazine area with the blanking on it right now, but the trigger area. The I'm sorry, I'm not the best with weapon terminology, but we got the end of the gun and some clips and stuff, some rings around the weapon. Just determine where you want to paint on your weapon, and then you just go ahead. Make sure you don't trap yourself. Usually I'll use these clips and hook it on, and so that way I have somewhere to hold on while I'm painting the weapon. And so you'll just go around, and I usually will start at by holding it like this, and then get the butt of the gun, and then I'll get this area here, and then get this area, and then I can switch and hold on to here, and then get the end of the weapon. So that's kind of the technique I use on how I paint it. While you're painting, I recommend using only a drop at a time. So just put a drop down, and while you're going along, I do 5 guns at a time, and usually I'll just do one drop. Before you start painting, make sure you wet your brush, make sure it's straight out, and after it's wet, you have a drop. You can start on the first weapon, and usually I can get through one weapon before the paint starts to kind of gum up and start to group up. Once it gets to that stage, I recommend just getting another drop. That's why you only use drops at a time, because this stuff will start to dry rather quickly, so only use a little bit at a time. Between every gun, I will wash the paintbrush out and reapply a new drop, and then I'll do that for every weapon. I'll use a different drop of paint, and between each one I will wash the paintbrush just to make sure it stays straight and it's a lot easier to apply. And usually after using one drop you can get a pretty even coat, but if sometimes you might not get it fully applied on the weapons, so you might have to go back, and usually at the end they're all relatively dry, and so I'll just get another drop of paint, and then I'll just go through while they're all on here and just kind of go over some areas that might be a little bit thin on paint. Just do a little touch up, and usually you're pretty good after that. And so after I get the first initial coat of gunmetal on, I will let it dry for 24 hours, and then the next day I will this is what the toothpicks are for. You can see certain areas on here. On some of these weapons, I painted over the spot that I had intended to. So you could see some areas around here I might have painted over. So the good part about this paint is before you put the clear coat on, you can scratch it off with a toothpick. Don't use anything metal, because that will actually scratch the plastic, but the toothpicks are kind of weak enough that they'll scratch off the paint, but they won't damage the actual plastic on the brick arms. So that's what I'll do, just do the touch up. If you're not like the most confident with your painting skills, you can always just go back and that will do your touch up, and then after that you can put your clear coat on right after you're done with your touch up. Just make sure you don't have any bits of paint. Make sure you blow it off and make sure it's all doesn't have any bits collected on from when you scratched it off. Put a dollop on your bottle cap, and then you can use your thicker brush, and this one you don't have to be very precise at all. You just kind of brush up all over the brick arms. You don't have to be precise at all. Just get the area really well. I usually will just do one coat on each of them, and then once they're all done, I'll just quickly go over and just touch up anywhere I believe that I may have missed, and then wait another 24 hours and it's pretty good. So after you put on, I only do one coat of gunmetal, and that's usually pretty good to get everything covered. Then I'll do one coat of this clear coat, and then after 24 hours it's usually really good. After you get the clear coat on, it's pretty strong, it's pretty scratch resistant. I wouldn't recommend like actually trying to scratch it. If you do that, it most likely will come off. But if you just like the regular wear and tear, just it dropping, bumping up on other stuff, it tends to hold up pretty well. Doesn't come off super easy. But other than that, that's really how I go about it. Here are some examples of the different brick arm types that I painted in the past. So quick, give you a look at those. And right next to it, I also have a overmolded, so you can see the difference on how they look basically the same. So right here we got a variety of different ones I painted, and then right here this is the custom painted M1 Grand. So you can see that it looks just like the overmolded one. And right here we have the actual overmolded. So this one looks a little bit smoother. It's less likely to scratch. It's more durable, but overall they look basically the same. So for any of you that have kind of some concerns about this, it's a lot easier than it looks. And the stuff isn't very expensive to get. And it definitely greatly enhances your build. And I'll never use just the plain Brickarms again. So these have definitely changed how my mocks looked and how my World War II figures look. And it's something I definitely would recommend anybody who is looking at expanding or enhancing their World War II Legos. This is a very good way to do it. So this is all the stuff you need. Hopefully this was informative. I know that was just a lot of talking, so it might be helpful to have an actual demonstration. So if you guys are interested in the demonstration, I will try to get that out. Just let me know if you want that. Hopefully this was helpful. At least you know some of the stuff to get. And that's going to be it for this video. So hopefully this was something that helped you guys. I know it was just a lot of words, but hopefully there's something in here that helped you. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.